Okay, so I chose a video of someone eating a cracker, and I really like this video. Not only because since it's a cracker, we see a really good oral prep stage, and some videos I saw cut off the hard palate for some reason, and we can see all the structures in here, and I love it. And it's just better for everyone to see everything that's involved. So I want to start off by pointing out all the important structures that are involved in swallowing. And then afterwards, we are going to watch the video and walk through all the stages and see everything in action. So let me get my little drawing tool out, and we are going to start off in the oral cavity. So we have the teeth, front and bottom. We have the tongue. Going back, we have the bolus, which is the easiest thing to spot because it's always way darker than anything else, and so we can track it. Um, let's see. Up here we have the hard palate, which is also the floor of our nasal cavity. And then it transitions into our soft palate or our velum, which protects our nasal cavity from anything going up there. As we know, it is really painful if someone makes you laugh and the velum ain't quite prepared yet and things shoot through your nose. That is very painful because it's not supposed to go up there. Okay, and so as we make our way down to some really important structures, we have our epiglottis right there, and we have our hyoid bone right here. Down here is kind of hard to see. The vocal folds are going to be right below here. And then we have our um, esophagus and our pharynx. I'll label these E for esophagus. That is lovely. And then H for pharynx. Okay, so there are some spaces that we have to label as well. They're not really structures, more like spaces, so we can orient ourselves as to where the bolus is, where structures are located. So, as we said again, this is the pharynx. Technically, it's anywhere. I like to remember it as anywhere where the air is going to be flowing. So this pharynx goes all the way up, right? So we have the nasal cavity first, and this nasal cavity is going to intersect with the pharynx, and we call that space the nasopharynx. And we do not want food to go up there. That is not cool. The velum goes up to the nasopharynx to protect anything growing up in the nose. We do not like that. Where the oral cavity intersects with the pharynx is called the oropharynx. And as we go down, we hit the larynx, and we call that the laryngopharynx right there, the larynx. Okay, so let me check my list. I also want to point out another kind of extra structure here called the vallecula. It's that little space behind the epiglottis. Food can sometimes get stuck there. It's not a huge deal, but I believe in this video, maybe I'm thinking of another one where we will see some food get stuck here just for a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna explain the stages, and then we're going to watch them in action. So basically, oral stage, you're starting from the lips to the oral pharynx. The oral stage includes oral preparatory stage, mastication. The tongue helps move the bolus from one side of the teeth to the other, depending on which side you chew your food. And then the tongue helps move it from anteriorly to posteriorly into the oral pharynx. Okay. And then the pharyngeal stage starts off where the oral stage ends, and the pharyngeal stage starts at the oral pharynx. and it goes down, 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 and it ends at the upper esophagus right here. And from the upper esophagus to the end of the esophagus is the esophageal stage. So I'm going to take away my beautiful drawings and landmarks so we can actually see everything moving. And I'm going to point out which things are moving and which stages we're at. We might have to go back and replay some things. This video is very fast. I have it at a quarter speed right now, but even then I've been moving back and forth to try to catch everything. Okay, so I have to turn off my marker and then I can click play. So this is the oral preparatory stage. They are chewing right now. We're still in the oral stage. This is very, very slow. This is actually not how fast swallowing actually is, but it's once the swallow initiates, it is very hard to catch. At least for me. Okay. Whew, we did it. So that was the end of the oral stage. You see some food actually made it down here. A lot of things happened at once. And we can annotate here and show what happened. This velum is now blocking off the nasal cavity. It is doing its job, and the epiglottis is down, and it is protecting the pharynx. And we are in the pharyngeal stage at this point. We saw the bolus move quickly back, and that was just the tongue doing its job. Let me see if I can go back and catch the hyoid bone doing its job to create areas of positive and negative pressure. That was something very fascinating that I was like learning. I didn't know swallowing had anything to do with pressure and basic science. Again, I'm going to annotate where the hyoid bone is, like around here. And we're going to see it go up to create positive pressure up here and negative pressure down here. And the positive pressure is going to squeeze that food down to areas of negative pressure. And I just want to point that out. Okay. So it is down here, and then it goes up, and the food goes down. It's about here. Okay. So now we are, the food is in the esophagus. We are beginning the esophageal stage, and we have successfully not aspirated any food. Yay! Okay, this is what I was talking about earlier about the vallecula. There is some food right there, but it's not a big deal. I do like noticing that because the vallecula, I never really heard about it till grad school. So I do like to notice like, hey, that new body part I didn't know about. So awesome. And I think that covers it. I learned a lot doing this, watching this video over and over again. And I did have a lot of fun labeling all the parts and watching the swallowing mechanism in real time. Okay. And let's stop recording.